record this. Okay, so default method and static method in Java. Default, or in, I can say, in interface, default method and a static method in interface. So already normal static method we have observed. Okay, now this is the static method we have specified inside the interface, and the default method we have specified inside the interface. So we need to understand here what exactly default method means. Then we will see what exactly the static method means. What is the use of that? Okay, that part we will see here. So actually both methods are added in the Java 8. So we call it as the Java 8 feature. These are the Java 8 feature. Default method is also Java 8 feature. Static method is also Java 8 feature. Since both the methods, default method and the static methods in the interface, have been added in the Java 8 version. Okay, so I just go for the default method first, then we'll go for the static method, and then finally we will discuss about what exactly difference between a abstract class and interfaces. Okay, so first we will go for this. See, actually in the interfaces we have observed that within an interface we can write only the declaration of method. Up to now we know that within an interfaces we can add only the abstract methods. We can add only the abstract methods, and the class which is implementing that interface, that class how to define, that class how to implement that abstract methods present in the interface. That is what we have observed till yet. Okay, now since Java 8, by using the default method, we can add method with the body. We can add method with the body in interface. Method with the body in interface is nothing but we can say default method, is nothing but a default method. So this is what actually the Java 8 feature. Actually in this one we can put a method with the body within an interface. Okay, so how you can do that? In that one you guys have to use the default keyword. So for example, assume I do have the interface. Okay, interface name, interface, we can say name, and in that one, up till now what we have put it like a void, okay, like sorry, void, okay, method like a display, okay, and here a semicolon. That means what? It is the abstract. It is the abstract. By default it is abstract, no need to use the abstract keyword. So this is the method without the body. That is a method without the body, and that we have already put it inside the interface. Now since Java 8, we can use the default. So how you can do that? We can use like this one, default, okay, that is what the keyword. Okay, we can use the return type void, okay, and I can write a show. And in this one I will put a body. I will put a body like this one. Okay, and in that I can write a system dot out dot println, and I can simply put in a default method. Okay, like that. So this is how we can create the default method. So simply we need to use a default keyword, and we have to add the body. So this is the method. This is the method with the body called as a default method. Okay. So now if we have created one class. We have created one class demo, and that demo class is implements that particular interface. So assume like I have given the interface name over here. Any interface name I can just specify. Okay, and in that one, if I do like this one, so here actually not necessary to override this method. Even though you can specify, but you guys know that if your class is implementing the particular interface, then that class have to define all abstract methods in it. So this class have to define all abstract methods in interface, whatever the abstract method. So actually we have only one abstract method as a wide display. So here that compulsory have to define, otherwise your class have to declare as abstract. But what about default? So we can say about the default, not necessary. That means what, you may or may not define default method. May or may not define, that is what, override. If you want to override, you can. If you don't want to override, you don't want. That means that if you want to put this demo class a specific version of that method, then you can override. Otherwise, even though if it is not implemented, it is okay. Okay. Then you might be think, then what is the difference here? Why it is been used? So I can say actually this method, why default method in interface. Okay, this is the very important question here. Why default method then? Because it is looking like the same only, whatever the methods we have been observed. Okay, then what it is doing here different? So actually just listen, pay attention here. See, this default method is used for, we can say it's used for maintenance, we can say maintenance, or I can again say like it is used for new version of your application, while it is used for developing new version of application. So that means what, see, you guys have been already implemented, you guys have been created one interface. Okay, that interface is already have been override in 100 classes. So assume the case one interface is implemented by 100 classes. Assume I'm saying, assume like one interface is been implemented by 100 classes. Okay, now you guys want to add, one more method in interface, So you guys know that if you have added the abstract method in that particular interface, then what happened? That abstract method how to define in all 100 classes, even though that classes are not using that particular interface, that particular new method, but still compulsory all 100 classes have to define that particular abstract method which is newly added in that particular interface. Hope you guys are getting what I'm saying. I have one interface. That interface have been implemented by 100 classes. Okay, that means what, that 100 classes contain all the abstract methods from that particular interface. Okay, and all these development have been done. Okay, that interface and classes has been used. Now in the future, what you want? You want that you have to add one more method in that interface. You have to add one more method in that interface. And if you have the facility only as an abstract, then what, assume like you guys have added this one method in this interface. So as this interface is implemented by these 100 classes, there is a rule that all these classes have to define all the abstract method. That means what, that newly added method 2 have to implement in these 100 classes, even though that is not useful in that classes. So this task is little tedious. It is a little problematic for the maintenance purpose. It is little problematic in the maintenance. That means what? We have to change all these classes. If you have to change all these classes, that means what? You have to compile that all these classes. You have to go for testing all these classes. So it is what little problematic. So to reduce this burden, what we can do? Just add default method. Just add new method. New method as a default method. That is method with the body. In a interface. As you have done this one, you guys don't need to define that method in all the 100 classes, because default method need not be overridden in the classes. If you want, that means that from these 100 classes, 5 classes are there. They want this new method. It is okay. They can override that. They can provide the definition for that. But other 95 classes don't need to override that method. Don't need to provide the implementation. Don't need to provide the definition for that method. So it helps in the maintenance. It helps in adding the new feature into the interface. So what about that 100? What about that 95 classes which have not implemented that in method? Okay, so they can use that default version of that method. They can use that default version of that method. So that is what the advantage. So those classes wants to implement default method body, they can. Others no need to define, that is override. No need to override. Then those classes, I can say those classes have not implemented method. Those classes have not implemented method can use default version of that method. Default version of that method from interface. So this is what the basic concept. Behind the default. For example, I just go here in the Eclipse. And will show you It's taking time. Okay, I have changed the Eclipse here. So it's not showing here. I just open project from the previous Eclipse workspace. Neat workspace. In that one, there was a demo project into. I will get this project. So that we can use previously created the code. So this is my project. In that one, we have created already interface. Okay. So assume like we have one interface, this operation. Okay. And in that one, we have added the two methods. This interface is been implemented by, I don't know exactly which one class. Okay, we'll write this demo class, we'll check. Okay, not demo interface. We'll go to the demo. Okay, so public class demo implements operation like this one we have did already. Okay, so now if you want to add one more method in this, it is already been done, huh? Like this one. See, like this one, this operation is being implemented by 100 of classes. Demo 1, demo 2, demo 3, demo 4, like that one. So all have the addition and division method. Now what you want to add the new one method in this one. So for example, you guys have to add void multiplication. Okay, this is what the method I want to add. But as I add this method as an abstract, by default it is abstract. See, it shows that error. It's showing the error that what you have not implemented that particular multiplication method. Okay, now see, actually I created earlier operation that have been implemented 100 classes. That means what I have to implement that method in 100 classes. So it is a tedious job. So to overcome this, what I will do, I will make this method as a default. How? I can write here default void multiplication, and here I can write sys out is not showing. Shortcut Y system dot out dot println. Okay, and there we can just put over here. Sorry. we can just simply put here in default multiplication. Okay, like this one. So this is what the default version of that. Now see, as even though I have added this, see, there is no error. There is no error. There is no problem. So if I go to the test demo, if I go to the test demo, so here operation ref new demo, and here ref addition, division, okay, addition, demo 2, is it there somewhere? Okay. And even here too, we have written like addition and like this one. Okay, so, but this demo 2, I just try to execute this one. See, by using this ref dot, and I can write a multiplication. You can see, and here too, I can write ref dot multiplication, and there is no problem. Control yes, you can execute this. So two classes are there, both have implemented that, and now there is no any problem. There is no any error to this. Okay, it is working fine here. I will try to execute this for you guys. I just go here. And you can see in a default multiplication. So if even though 100 of classes are there, they have been implemented this interface. No need to change the definition of that. Now from this one, this demo to want to change. So here it can override. If you want like a public void multiplication. Okay, and there I can just simply write here sys out. Okay, and in that, in demo 2, in a demo 2 multiplication, which is overridden, which is overridden, it is present in there also here too. So I just written like this one. So if I want this class specific version of that method, it is okay, you can do like, and there is no problem. Now when I call this one, now it will invoke that specific class version, and you can see demo 2 multiplication overridden. Okay, so that is what the advantage of a default method, nothing else. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, good. So